Alright, so today we are going to talk about making 10 strategy to add within 20. So this is why it's been very important that we have been talking about what two numbers come together to give us a 10, because this is where we're really going to hone in on what two numbers make 10 and how can we get to 10 to help us solve addition problems to 20. Alright, so let's go ahead and start with a problem. I am going to start with 9 plus 4. Alright, so our problem is 9 plus 4. So the first question I'm going to need to ask is, can I make 10? Can I make 10 if I were to add these two numbers together? Okay, well, this is really going to get us thinking. It's going to get us thinking because we're going to have to look at these two numbers and think, could I get to 10 or could I get to a number bigger than 10? So the answer to that is obviously yes, because 9 is very close to 10, and I know that 9 only needs 1 to get to 10, and I have 9 plus 4. So yes, I could definitely make a 10. Now, some of the students may not be at that point yet, so while we're doing these problems, they'll start to see, if we can make a 10 or not before we start solving it. So we can make a 10, so then I am going to ask myself another question, and that is, which of these numbers is closer to 10? Which one's going to get to 10 first? Alright, so I'm thinking about 9 and 4. If I have 9, how many would I need to get to 10? If I have 4, how many would I need to get to 10? So I'm thinking of which one is closer to 10. And that would be 9. So 9 is closer to 10 than 4 is. Okay? Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to have to figure out how much is 9 going to need to get to 10, because it's going to need some help. It's not there yet. It's going to need some help. So I know my friends of 10, and I know that 9 plus 1 is going to give me 10. So 9 is going to have to borrow 1 from his friend. So he's going to have to go over there to number 4 and say, hey 4, I got to borrow 1 from you. So the 4 is going to have to decompose or break apart. So we're going to go ahead and circle 4 since 4 is going to go ahead and need to decompose. And I'm going to make a little number bond actually to go ahead and set up my decomposition. So 9, like we said, only needs 1 to become a 10. So I've got to make sure that I'm taking 1 from the 4. That way 9 can grab it and become a 10. But before I do that, I need to think about, if I took 1 from that 4, what's going to be left? And I know that 4 take away 1 is going to give me 3. It's going to leave me with 3. Now I can move on and I can start making my 10. Alright, so 9 is going to come over and swoop down here and grab that 1. Now it's a 10. Sometimes I like to say, like, 9 is now a superhero. He is superhero number 10. And his friend number 4 helped him out. Okay, so after I've done that, I like to cross it out because sometimes, the kids can, forget a little bit of what they've done, especially when they get into bigger number problems. Alright, so I've crossed that out. I've decomposed my 4, and now I've got to make sure that I bring this last component down in my problem. 10 plus 3 equals. Now I have a problem that's a lot easier to solve. I made it to 10, and I've got to add 3 more to it to complete my number sentence. 10 plus 3 equals 13. Okay. And then I need to make sure that this comes back up to my number sentence, my original number sentence, and now I've completed my problem. 9 plus 4 equals 13. And 9 plus 4 is the same as 10 plus 3. We've got to make sure that the kids know that. The 9 plus 4 is the same as 10 plus 3. We've just gotten to a number that's a lot easier to add, which is 10. Okay, so if students are just not understanding this without using visuals, then we can always use a tens frame. So if I had 9 plus 4 equals, and say I have a double tens frame, okay? I have 2 tens frames. Alright, so over here I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do my 9. Oops. Make sure we fill in this left column first. That way it's easier for students to see. So I've got 9 right there, and then I've got my 4 right here. Alright, so what I would ask is, which one of these would get to 10 faster, or which one would fill up faster? Obviously, I'm going to look at this and we're going to say the 9. So the 9 is going to have to borrow from the 4, and it's only going to need one more. So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to give it to the 9. Okay, so once I did that, now I am left with 3. So I could look at this and see this is a full tens frame. So 10 plus, and the 4 is decomposed now, and it is now a 3. 10 plus 3 equals 13. And then I always make sure to put this back into my number sentence. Okay, so it's totally fine if you need to use tens frames and use some more visuals. The more that you work with it, the easier it'll get, and the more students will be able to see this kind of stuff in their head, and then they'll start being able to use or do these problems without having to use manipulatives or tens frames. So that is our making 10 strategy.